So Donald J. Trump decided to call in the National Guards and national and federalized police to help with the crime rate in D.C. What happened? The usual suspect who came out and complained. People who do not live in these black neighborhoods. White liberal women, and the clowns on CNN and MSNBC. Those rich millionaires who get in their cars when they finish doing their report, they get in their cars and they go to the suburbs outside of DC. They live a lovely life. They do not live in these up neighborhoods with these youngins acting a damn fool. These youngins are terrorizing older people like myself. We want them out because the mothers are nowhere to be found. The mothers drop these little battles off. They drop these 12, 13, 14-year-old little badass little kids off and they leave them. They terrorize the public, the stores. You see that in Walgreens, the gas stations. They go in there by the hundreds and just take and tear up. And the police can't say anything because the blues, the Democratic mayors tell them, listen, don't say anything to them against kids. But they're terrorizing the neighborhoods. I saw God in D.C., majority of the people in that protest were white women complaining who do not live in D.C. We don't need your help if you wait. Leave us alone. We do not despise the cops. We want more cops because these little young folks are acting a damn fool. You rich people, you rich liberals, black and white, you do not live in these neighborhoods in Philadelphia, Oakland, Memphis. Older people got to go through this every night. The boom, the fighting, the noise. They breaking your cars. Alarm goes off, you look outside, they trying to break in your cars. They 12 years old, 13. Where's the mother? The DOJ should start charging the mothers. Take care of your kids. I'm tired of seeing these liberal white people continue to tell us that we are being suppressed by the white man, which is Donald J. Trump. He's trying to help us. Leave us alone. We love policemen. We do not idolize George Floyd. He was a criminal. We do not idolize George Floyd. We want more police in our neighborhood. Leave Donald J. Trump alone. And thank you, Donald J. Trump.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your man, Wise. Hey, I don't care what these liberals on TV, I don't care what these liberals that are out there protesting out in D.C., I don't care what they have to say. The people, the masses are like, heck yeah, we love what President Trump are doing. Matter of fact, 91% of the residents in D.C. love what President Trump is doing. And you have people across the country that are saying, can he bring that to Chicago? Can he bring it to Baltimore? I had a lady in the comment section earlier today said, can you bring it to Montgomery County, just right up the road? Montgomery County, wealthiest county in Maryland, one of the wealthiest counties in the nation. They got a crazy crime issue as well. I mean, it's wild, man. It's wild that Democrats are anti-law and order. It makes absolutely no sense to me, but I got a couple clips to get into. We got to talk about it. Like, share, subscribe, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Watch the video all the way through. And when you do, let me know you did so in the comment section. Let's get into it.
Why is it that the folks that don't even live in D.C. feel like they need to comment on the crime in D.C.? I understand that you don't like the Donald, okay? We get it. We get it. We understand Orange Man bad. But how are you going to comment on crime that you have no idea about? You do not live there or the area in which the crime is happening. Like, come on. And now you mad because people don't want to get robbed or beat up or possibly shot on a daily basis going to work. The police done said, look, you know what? Yeah, we need help. The mayor done said, yeah, you know what? It's kind of out of control. But yet, if the Donald comes up with something, y'all gonna have a problem with it. Like every time. You're not tired yet? No, you're not tired. Why? Because y'all are out there marching yet again.
Yeah, people are fed up, man. DC residents, Americans, yeah, People are fed up with these liberal cities that just let crime just run rampant in the cities. And the thing is that a lot of the wealthy people, the people that are enacting these laws or failing to prosecute the laws, they don't even live in these neighborhoods. So the good people, the good law-abiding citizens in those neighborhoods are held hostage by the criminals. Make that make sense, man. Make it make sense.
As we head into this new chapter, Harry Enton is here. Where do things stand with how people feel about crime right now?
Yeah, I think that Democrats have to get it around their heads that Americans are far more hawkish on crime than they think that they are. What are we talking about? Trump's net approval handling crime. Where was he last year? He was way underwater at minus 13 points views of term number one. But look at where he is now. He's on the positive side of the ledger. He's on the positive side at plus 1 point. Americans view Trump far more favorably now on crime than they did a year ago. And while this polling doesn't take into account what's exactly happening in D.C. right now, it does take into account what happened in Los Angeles, what's happened earlier this year. And Americans, for the most part, actually view Trump favorably. Crime is one of Trump's best issues. It's one of the reasons why he wants to talk about crime, because it favors him.
It will be very interesting when you can see polling that has what's happening and rolling out right now settling in to see
if it moves
what the impact really is, because it's been a lot of messaging is what we've seen. Compare Trump to Biden in handling of crime, please.
Yeah, okay. I think this sort of gives the game away here because Donald Trump is like Air Jordan towering over Joe Biden when it comes to their handling of crime. Look, in 2024, look at where Biden's net approval was on crime. Way underwater there at minus 26 points. It was one of Biden's worst issues. Granted, pretty much every issue was one of Biden's worst issues. And again, look at where Donald Trump is. Way, way, way above Joe Biden. What is that? That's 27 points. So Americans vastly prefer Donald Trump's approach to crime than they did to Joe Biden's. And again, I think it gets back to the point that Americans are far more hawkish on crime than a lot of Democrats want to admit.
Americans writ large, but how does it break down by party?
Yeah, okay. So I think that this is, we're talking about Donald Trump here, right? So I think it's very important to note that this isn't just about Donald Trump. It's about Republicans versus Democrats, right? And that, of course, is a key question going into next year's midterm election. I think the party closest to your views on crime. Look, in 2023, Republicans were favored by 13 points. Look at where they were in May of this year. Republicans were actually favored by 16 points. They actually gained ground on crime. They were maintaining their edge and actually added a little bit to it. So Republicans in the House, Republicans in the Senate, they absolutely want to be talking about crime. The more they feel that we're talking about crime, the better they feel that the electoral landscape is for them.
Okay.
If you or someone you love is on Medicare, listen up. This is important. Recently, the Department of Justice filed a major fraud complaint against 3 of the largest Medicare brokers in the nation. According to the DOJ, these companies allegedly misled seniors, claiming to offer unbiased help while secretly steering them towards insurance plans that paid the highest kickbacks. Not the best plan for you, not even the right plan, just the one that made them the most money. It's absolutely disgusting, but unfortunately, not surprising. That's exactly why I recommend Chapter. Chapter was founded by people whose own parents were scammed by this system. They made it their mission to fix it. Unlike most brokers, Chapter is fully independent and searches every Medicare plan available nationwide to find the one that actually fits your needs. No pressure, no hidden agenda, just honest, ethical help, and it doesn't cost you a dime. The DOJ case, it's showing and it's showcasing how broken the system is. Chapter is one of the few organizations trying to fix it. So if you're in need of help, if you know anyone that's in need of help with Medicare, call Chapter at 504-506-0860. You'll speak with a real person who's focused on helping you, not big insurance. They've already saved the average senior over $1,000 a year. And again, the service is completely free for my audience. Once again, 504-506-0860. Call Chapter today. It's quick, it's easy, and they can review your options in under 20 minutes. Now let's get back into the video. The people do not want crime-infested neighborhoods. They don't want crime-infested cities. And when you go down the list of the most dangerous cities in the country, the top 10, every last one of them are Democrat-led cities. Every last one of them, the top 10 Democrat-led cities. It's crazy when you start looking at, cities that have the most homicides, every last one of them. Per capita, Democrat. Overall, Democrat. Top 10, Democrats run the table there. And honestly, the way they're handling this particular situation that's going on in DC, hey, it's not boding well, and it's not going to bode well for them in the future, because everybody that's running in this midterm, they're going to be able to say, hey, Democrats are super soft on crime. Matter of fact, they don't care that you live in an unsafe neighborhood. They don't care. You can't refute it. Now, of course, you got your, super victimhood black folks out there that are saying, oh, Trump's trying to over police black folks. You had the lady come out and say, oh, he's only talking about the black cities, Oakland, St. Louis, DC, Baltimore, New Orleans. Yeah, these cities do happen to be black, but they also happen to be dangerous. And the fact that you have black folks are black people that are anti someone doing something about the crime in the neighborhoods, it makes me think that these people are anti-black. Majority of the people in these cities that are, falling victim to homicide are black people, black men, especially at high clips. So I'm gonna go out there on a limb and say that, hey, you got a lot of black folks out there, black liberals that don't care about black people. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it.
A few months ago, I was in Union Station and saw a body hit the floor at the bottom of the escalator in Union Station because there was a murder right in front of me. Up on the second floor, I was going to get a tie, and I heard the shots and saw the body hit the floor. So I've been listening all day long to people trying to make some argument that Washington, D.C. is a safe place.
For those of you guys that are not familiar with Union Station is the central hub of the DC metro system, which is the subway system that runs from all throughout DC up to Maryland and all the way out as far as Dulles out in Virginia, in Northern Virginia.
It's not a safe place, and we can argue about statistics and numbers. There's a police commander right now on suspension because there's some allegation that the statistics have been altered. But we can argue about that all day long. Nobody in their right mind who lives there or visits there on a regular basis would tell you that Washington, D.C. is safe, and everybody who goes there knows it, and everybody who goes there knows it. So is there really going to be a resistance to have any kind of people on the street just looking out? The kid that worked at the White House, when he got jumped by the 10 kids in the street gang, it was only because two cops saw it that he was able to escape.
And we still need the public support. So coming out in such an aggressive manner could actually backfire on us.
That's an interesting point.
I will just point out that the head of the D.C. Police Union, here's a direct quote, "We completely agree with the president that crime in the District of Columbia is out of control and something needs to be done with it." So it sounds like to me, among the rank and file, the president has some support from the cops for doing this today in Washington.
No, we do need the support.
I think what happens to D.C. police on a rolling basis, I think what happens to cops on the most violent cities in America on a rolling basis is a disgrace as well. I think what the president is responding to today is, what can I do today? D.C. is the only city I really have control of, so I'm going to try to give them some support. He's getting a note of confidence from the D.C. Police Union. I suspect if they did things in other cities, other police unions in those cities would also offer some support. And so what I would simply say is that all you can do is hit the next shot. And the next shot right now, I think for a lot of Americans, is what can be done today to reduce violent crime and to make me feel safer in my neighborhood. I think he's going to get a lot of political support for the idea that the federal government's getting a little more muscular when it comes to cracking down on violent criminals.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And the fact that you have people like this blonde-haired bimbo, you know what I'm saying? This blonde-haired bimbo, standing against President Trump, trying to clean up the communities. It just goes to show you that these people don't care about the American citizens. They don't. And they for daggone sure, obviously, don't care about the black folks that live in these neighborhoods. And the thing about DC is that, hey, it doesn't matter where you are because everything is so compact, it's so tight, everybody's kind of on top of each other. It's not just secluded into one or two specific areas. It's not. It's bled out all throughout the city. It's bled out all throughout the city. I want you guys to hear this story from Benny Johnson and hear what he had to say about his run-ins with criminals out there in D.C.
As a D.C. resident of 15 years, I lived on Capitol Hill. I witnessed so many muggings and so much theft. I lost track. I was carjacked. I have murders on my Ring camera and mass shootings. I witnessed a woman on my block get held up at gunpoint for $20, and my house was set ablaze in an arson with my infant child inside. And so to any reporter that says and lies that DC is a safe place to live and work, let me just say this. Thank you. Thank you for making the city safe, because no parent should have to go through what my family went through, having the fire department rip open their door to save their infant child. And so thank you for your work on securing this city. My question to you is this. Nancy Pelosi has attacked the president for deploying the National Guard to the city, saying that it is to cover for his incompetence. Hillary Clinton has also attacked the president for securing the city of Washington, D.C. I'd like to get your response to Nancy Pelosi and Hillary Clinton.
Sure. Well, first of all, Benny, I'm so sorry that happened to you and your family. There have been, unfortunately, far too many victims of crime in this city, and I know the majority of residents in the District of Columbia agree with you. In fact, a new poll from the Washington Post I was reading this morning, this was released in May of 2024, so it's quite funny how many of you in the media agreed with what the president was saying yesterday, but now once the president says it, many of you are disagreeing with him. But this poll released by the Washington Post found that 65% of district residents think crime is an extremely serious or a very serious problem, and this was up from 56% last year. So the concern that you share with so many other residents in the District of Columbia is real, and that's why this president is taking action to address it. To get to the heart of your question, I think it's despicable that Democrats cannot agree that we need more law and order in a city that has been ravaged by violence, crime, murders, property theft. This should be a winning issue for all Americans. I don't understand. It's just anything President Trump does, the Democrats want to disagree with. I think the president would love to work with Democrats on this issue to bring law and order to America's cities, but unfortunately they have failed, and that's why he's taken this historic action to federalize the National Guard. And as you're seeing from last night's numbers, we already have seen success. We are removing violent offenders, we are arresting criminals, and we are removing drugs and firearms off of the streets of the city to make it safer for all of its residents.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Democrats, this is a losing issue right there. This is a losing issue, man, because I'm not going to say if the president is successful. I'm going to say that this is going to be successful. And I hope that this isn't just a 30-day stopgap. I hope this is something that is just ongoing, and we legitimately see the crime numbers, the crime statistics legitimately come down, not some commissioner juking the numbers. Residents are fed up. I want you to hear from this young lady here.
You hear from city leaders and others that crime is actually down. Are you seeing that?
No, I'm not seeing it. We're seeing carjackings, the violence in the communities. So we were advocating then for the National Guard to come out, but they said there was no need. But think about how many lives could have been saved just having them on the scene.
And Asia says still to this day, she's not heard from one detective about those crimes committed against her family. Now, for Tempe Satcher, another D.C. resident, her son BJ was gunned down in a random drive-by shooting on the way to work 2 years ago, and she does not feel that crime has calmed down.
Just today, a young lady was shot over on 15th Street in Northeast D.C. Does that seem like crime gone down? With all the things that are going on with our president, sending the National Guards out, I don't have a problem with that personally, because if MPD can't do it and they need help, then I'm glad they're able to get the help.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And y'all heard it. The police union, they said that they appreciate, they welcome, and they applaud the efforts from the president. Their hands are tied. That's pretty obvious. Their hands are tied, especially when it comes to dealing with the youngins. Their hands are tied. I mean, there's been stories where there's been young people that have stolen police cars. There's been stories where there was young people that jumped on the police in D.C. But yet you got fools out there saying that, oh, no big deal. It's not that bad. We don't need the National Guard, so forth and so on. Listen to this clown here.
Do you think D.C. is dangerous? No, D.C. is not dangerous. Why would you feel like it's dangerous? I'm going to ask you a question. Because it's actually the 4th most dangerous city in the country based on homicide rates. That's actually, I know that's absolutely right. But do y'all feel like it's dangerous because it's black people? No. Okay. Why would it be?
How you immediately get into your victimhood? Immediately. Y'all think it's dangerous because it's black people? Nah, we think it's dangerous because it's the number 4 city in the country when it comes to homicides. What are we talking about? That's the problem with so many of these folks out here, man. Y'all are victims, man. Y'all got this victimhood mindset. Y'all are ashamed by nothing, offended by everything. I mean, the data is the data. The stats say that DC is one of the worst cities in the country when it comes to homicides. And that's per capita, and it's in the top 10 overall. Like, no one said anything about the race of the people.
Be because of a skin color. Oh, that's why I'm asking. That's why I asked that question. But I don't feel like DC's dangerous. What part in specific is dangerous for y'all? The homicides and the carjackings. And, right. Yeah. That I agree with. The carjacking and everything about that nature, I agree with. For sure. But homicides, that's everywhere. So do you agree with Trump's action to take over the city with federal troops to make it peaceful? No, I absolutely do not agree with that. Why not? For me, I don't feel like the protection will sustain as far as in the city itself. It's just like you have Navy troops taking over, but you got to think about the metropolitan.
The training is different. Military is different than police. Police work.
This is the National Guard. The National Guard is trained in, city security. They're trained to do this. It's the National Guard. They're trained. See, people hear National Guard and immediately think traditional military, Army, Marine Corps, so forth and so on. And the reality of it is, too, Army, Marine Corps, when they go over to Afghanistan, when they was over in Iraq, they did city patrols. So they actually got the training as well. They have urban training as well. What are we talking about? These people, they just don't know anything. They don't know anything.
For the people,
yes,
the military do too. Yeah, they protect us, but they're focused on combat. There's no combat needed in the streets. Well, there's gunfire in the streets. There's people getting shot and killed. I'm law enforcement myself, and the training is completely different. It's completely different. So, how have you guys been handling the crime recently? Do you feel like it's gotten better or worse? So, I'm from Miami, so it gets no worse than Miami. But it is worse than Miami, actually. If he deploys federal troops and everything becomes safer, will you say that is successful? If it was to come to that rate and crimes drop, totally.
But at least he did admit that, hey, if the troops go out there and the crime drops, he would get with it. The lady out there, talk about I'm from Miami, it doesn't get any worse. Ma'am, you need to go read the data. Miami's on the list, but it ain't in the top 10. Miami's pretty dangerous, but it ain't in the top 10. It ain't like DC. It really drives me crazy of people that just don't know. They don't know anything. The ignorance is just
so
can
bad.
Can I finish?
I want murder solved.
Can I
Can you just let her finish?
Scott's gonna.
Well, if she wants to come out here and take pot shots at me, I'm not going to allow it.
I know
it's
you're
a stupid argument. I'm not going to allow it.
Scott, just let her finish. I don't even know that we've even heard the argument
no,
yet.
we heard it. We heard it.
No, Scott.
So go ahead,
Scott,
Julie.
I know you're thirsty for that Senate seat, but let me finish. What I'm going to say.
I mean, you allow this every night.
Scott, just give me 1 second here. Let's just let her finish, please.
Okay.
Just 1
Listen.
second.
I know you've got the picking thing going on, but here's what I'm going to say.
What are you thirsty for? Some kind of relevance out here?
No, actually, Scott.
I don't know what you do for a living.
Really? I elect a lot of Democrats. Let me finish my thought here, please. Can I just finish what I was about to say?
I wanted to play that because Scott Jennings is obviously getting fed up with these idiots on Abby Phillips' show. He is getting fed up, and he has taken the gloves off. He signed that daggone contract extension. He getting that bag. He's got his own radio show now. He like, you know what? Gloves off. I'm not playing with y'all no more. I am not playing with y'all no more. Y'all are not going to continue to disrespect me. Shout out to Scott Jennings, man. Shout out to him for standing on business, for defending himself and challenging and pushing back against these idiots, these liberal idiots. I want to hear what your thoughts are on the video. Any of the clips, let me know what your thoughts are. I'm glad to see that there are a plethora of Americans that are standing up for what the president is doing. There's a lot of people around the country that want to see this. They want to see these maneuvers, you know what I'm saying, be attempted in their own communities. I'm 100% here for it, man. 100% here for it. Like, share, subscribe, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family, or you can buy your brother a coffee. The link in the description box below. Keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.
We won't stop. I won't quit. Stand for the truth. No counterfeit. Real ones rise. Let the fake ones split. Repent for the lies. Let the darkness live.